Good morning, friends. Today I'll be explaining to you about shin splints. Shin splints is the most common cause of leg pain in young children and adults which are into athletic activities. So, what is a shin splint? Shin splint is pain in the leg area. So, if this is your leg bone from here to here and you divide it into three parts, this syndrome is a pain syndrome which is present at the junction of the upper 2/3 and lower 1/3. So this region, specifically on the posterior-medial aspect, the patient will have intense pain and there will be a severe tenderness when we touch this particular area. So this, as I told you, is the most common cause of pain in a runner, in a military recruit and in an athlete, specifically in young children and young adults, specifically those patients who are doing a quick episode or quick bout of running activity. So the etiology or the cause of this pain and this syndrome are not properly understood. Earlier, it was presumed that it was due to a increase in the compartment pressure, but later it was proved that the compartment pressure is not increased in these cases. These days, the consensus is that it is a sort of periostitis and the periosteal layer in this particular area of the bone underwent a little bit of inflammation and pain, and that gives rise to this symptom. It is also very closely associated with the stress fracture, which is also very common in this particular area. So if we talk about leg pain in general in a military recruit or in an athlete, the most common cause is a shin splint, which is also called as a medial tibial stress syndrome, and the second most common will be a stress fracture. A stress fracture will be diagnosed with an increased uptake in a technetium bone skin. So, stress fracture and I would say that this is a spectrum of disease in which an early disease can be called as a medial tibial stress syndrome and a late disease or a severe disease can be caused as a stress fracture. But one thing, it is a very common disease with a very difficult treatment. Now there are some patients which are at a high risk of developing this problem. So specifically, if this problem is more in female patients, more in patients of young age, if you have any kind of knee deformities like genu varum or genu valgum, the chances are more. If you have any foot deformities like pes clavum, then the disease is high. Or any kind of a other foot deformities also, the risk is high. Specifically in those patients who have a overpronated foot, the risk of shin splints is high. So if your foot is in overpronation, the risk of medial tibial stress syndrome is high. Also, smoking increases the risk, and if you have a more hours or more duration of your running, walking or march, then you also are at a high risk of developing a shin splint. A very important physical feature which is associated is if you are walking or if you are working out on hard surface, then the chances of a shin splint is higher as compared to you are running on a soft surface. So hard surface, running on a hard surface is another negative factor. Also, it has been associated with deficiency in calcium and vitamin D levels in the body. So if you have any form of osteomalacia or osteoporosis with decreased calcium and vitamin D levels in your body, then you are at a high risk of developing a medial tibial stress syndrome. Now, as I told you, the treatment in these particular cases are very challenging and it takes time. So this disease, once it starts progressing and once it starts appearing, will not go overnight, and there are a series of steps or series of efforts that you can do, but all efforts will take time to give you results. So what are those modalities that you can try? So the first thing is that you can start with a shock absorbent insole. So in your shoes, you can use a insole, or you can use a sort of a silicone insoles to actually give a shock absorber kind of a effect. You can also use an external foam heel pad. So you can use a external heel onto the shoes. So that will also give a shock absorbing thing, because as we told, this is basically due to a heavy load on that portion of the leg. Also, stretching exercises. So what we recommend are heel cord stretching exercises. So before you start your workout or before you start your running, you should do heel cord stretching to decrease the incidence of shin splints. You should consider using an alternative footwear. If you are doing some activity or workout and shin splints start coming, then bad footwear can also be an important cause. So you should always try to change your footwear, specifically the softer one, newer kind of a footwear will be a better one, which is a high shock absorbing capacity. These kind of footwears are better. As far as your training is concerned, a graduated running program is much better than an abrupt running program. So whenever you are starting your rehabilitation, you start in a very graduated running fashion. So you start with about 100 meters, 200 meters, 500 meters, and then slowly increase your time and duration and your length of the route that you cover in the running or marching. So it is very important that you start it graduated or in a stepwise manner. You should always investigate the patient for a vitamin D level. In these patients, as I have told you, that they are usually calcium deficient, and if you have a vitamin D deficiency, it will lead to a actual calcium deficiency. So I usually like to supplement these patients with calcium supplements, and I recommend all of you to see our video on calcium supplements, in which we have described which calcium supplements should be given and in what doses, and what are the advantages of taking different forms of calcium supplements. Also, as I have told you, that I usually do a vitamin D levels in these patients, and if vitamin D levels are low, then it is also imperative to supplement these patients with vitamin D as well. We have a dedicated video on a vitamin D supplementation as well, and I recommend all of you to see that video as well, because that will give you an insight about the importance of D in the calcium metabolism of the body, and how and what way you should take or you should use vitamin D supplementation. So friends, if you have any more doubts regarding shin splints or proximal tibial stress syndrome, you can write us on the comment box. We'll try our best to help you out. Thank you.